You're watching Marvel live at Comic-Con 2015, brought to you by Marvel Future Fight from Netmarble. I'm Ryan Panagos, aka Marvel's Agent M, joined by
Lorraine Sink, host and writer of Marvel's The Watcher, and we're joined by our editor-in-chief, hail to the chief, Axel Alonso. Hi, welcome. How's Comic-Con going for you thus far?
So far, so good.
So we have some exciting stuff to talk about from panels. Have you gotten to go to any of the panels for Uncanny Inhumans or Secret Wars?
Yeah, I sat on the X-Men, Uncanny Inhumans panel with Jeff Lemire, Cullen Bunn, the whole crew, Charles Soule. It was a real fun time.
And can you tell us about any of the announcements that were made?
Yeah, actually I can. We announced the X-Men line. Jeff Lemire will be writing the core title, Extraordinary X-Men, with artist Humberto Ramos, who is also on the panel. Cullen Bunn will be writing Uncanny X-Men with, I believe it is Greg Land who's drawing it, and Dennis Hopeless will be writing all new X-Men with the prolific and amazing Mark Bagley.
Oh,
so it's a
wow.
really exciting lineup, 3 books with very different mission statements, and contrary to rumors, the X-Men are not canceled.
And there was also this morning Secret Wars. Were you able to attend Secret Wars this morning?
I was not there. I was at a very important breakfast.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, they say. So we'll have to wait for those announcements till just a little bit later. But we have this cool bodies issue from ESPN. If you could tell us a little about it.
Sure. Well, ESPN has a very popular issue every year they put out called the Body Issue, where they do figural studies, unclothed figural studies of the most popular athletes of the day. And they came to us and they said, you know, we've worked with you in the past. We did the NBA preview issue. We did a LeBron James comic book. We'd like to do something else with you. You know, how about we show some of, you know, Marvel superheroes in this issue? What can we do? So we started a collaboration, and we thought, you know, how about if, you know, if you take a look at athletes, athletes are the closest thing you have today to real life superheroes. You know, their bodies are fine-tuned instruments at what they do. So we thought, you know, what if we were to take a wide range of iconic superheroes, you know, from the Hulk to Daredevil, Black Widow, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel. What if you were to take those characters, hand them over to an artist and say, what do you view as being sort of the defining musculature of that character? When you're asked to draw this character, what type of athlete do you see? What body type do you focus on? What's the defining musculature is the way we put it. So we went through, and it's just an amazing output. You've got Alex Malev's Daredevil. You have Lionel Yu doing Luke Cage. We have, let me see, right through the list, Emmanuel Lupacino doing Medusa, who's defining body characters, might be her hair. You know, Iron Fist with his hands. You know, it's an amazing
Can we hold
issue.
it up? Are we allowed? Okay.
Here's a sampling of what we got. You know, here you have Frank Cho She-Hulk. The defining musculature being her back and her broad shoulder muscles. She can carry the weight of the world on her back. And Iron Fist, of course, you know, it's his fists. It's his arms and fists. So we had a lot of fun with this. Each of the artists was interviewed by ESPN to talk a little bit about what was going through their heads when they did these drawings. Very proud of it.
Yeah. Shout out to Carlos from ESPN the magazine and Ricky over at Marvel Publishing, working closely with everybody on that, because such great work.
And my man Otto Strong at ESPN magazine. This is our 3rd collaboration, our 3rd rodeo, and I look forward to more.
Yes. So if you guys are watching, you have questions, comments, things you want to talk with Axel about, use hashtag MarvelSDCC. Comic Book Bros say, yo Axel, how about those Golden State Warriors?
Thank you for asking. I'm still coasting. I'm going to be happy all year. I'm a little bit worried about the Western Conference now and all the moves going on, I will admit, you know, in LA and elsewhere. And the Spurs especially, but thank you for asking.
Lucas Ackerman is curious what the world will be like for all new, all different Marvel, what the characters will be like, what can we expect from a post-Secret Wars Marvel universe?
Well, I think you can look for a continuation in kind of the big changes we've been going through. You know, the Marvel Universe is transformed, but it's still the Marvel Universe you know. You won't know exactly what's changed until you finish Secret Wars. But I will say, every single book will launch with a new issue 1, and it will take place 8 months after the events of Secret Wars. So during that 8-month gap, we've challenged all of our writers and artists to come up with a significant thing that's happened, a change in the life of their character. Could be a small change, could be a seismic change. And also to think about the ripple effects across the Marvel Universe. So every book is going to come back with just something that's going to put you back on your heels and at the same time, we think it's going to be very accessible to new readers.
Very cool.
I have a
please.
question, which is we're going from kind of a multiverse to a singular universe. Is it still going to be considered a 616, or is it going to have a new number? It's important to my job.
Oh, this is the 616 universe, absolutely. There's one Marvel universe. It's not broken. We didn't need to fix it. We just wanted to get under the hood and tighten some things up.
Renee Laufeyson asks, do you have a favorite female Marvel villain?
Favorite female Marvel villain? That's a good one. Well, it depends upon if you qualify Elektra as being a female villain or an anti-hero. I absolutely love her. I also love the Black Cat. I think she's amazing. I'm trying to think beyond that. I think those are really the preeminent front runners for me.
Sure. Awesome Unicorn asked about editing for Marvel. Like, what is it from going from an editor to a senior editor to all that to now editor-in-chief? What changes from your day to day?
Yeah, I mean, when you're an editor, you're right down there, boots on the ground, working on the books in every aspect. The farther you get kicked up the food chain, the more you become involved with the macro planning and the larger planning. So you might be less involved in things like the layouts and balloon placements. You might be, focusing more on the actual scripts and the high concepts driving the book. So really, we've got a great crew of editors. Several tiers. There's myself, Tom Brevoort as our executive editor. He carries a great weight of the load. Our senior editors, Mark Paniccia and Nicolo, and a great editorial staff that includes, I could just go down the list, Amanat, Will Moss. It's a great crew. We hire people because they're smart, because they have something to contribute.
And we also have a great crew of new, younger assistant editors. Like I've been meeting them more and more, so I'm very excited for what everybody's bringing to the table. You guys are just killing it in publishing.
Absolutely. Again, we've got so many great editors now. I can't name them all, but I'll name a couple who've been around for a while and are really showing their voice. John Moyson and Jake Thomas are really standing out. They got great things ahead of them.
Yeah. Orkun Orbe says, may I ask, are there any plans for Wasp in All New, All Different?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would not be surprised. She's come up in conversations, but I don't know what's solidified.
Sure. Michael W.S. says, what is your favorite title that the public knows about for All New, All Different? Something that we've announced. What are you most excited about right now?
I don't have a favorite title. I mean, it's really hard to pick favorites, and I'd say that both as an editor and as a reader. I like the diversity. I think that I'm very excited about what I'm seeing out there. I'd say that one thing that is very close to my heart and I'm watching with a lot of anticipation is Miles Morales' Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe. I think he's an extremely important character, extremely appealing character, and to see him now in the Marvel Universe, in the real 616 interacting, I think it's going to be fascinating. So I got my fingers crossed it works out.
Yes. Denu Fugate asks, can we get some Spider-Man comic book hints? But we do have a Spider-Man panel here, I believe, on Sunday.
Yes.
So, but Dan Slott and Brian Michael Bendis with the Spider-Man title. I mean, there's some really cool Spider plans
Absolutely.
coming up.
I mean, we've got some fantastic titles, the two core titles you mentioned, and then Nick Lowe has done an amazing, editor Nick Lowe has done an amazing job of building a Spider-Man family of books that I don't think we've seen them this popular in forever. I mean, from Spider-Woman to Spider-Gwen to Silk, shout out to the Korean-American Silk. Again, I love it, the diversity out there, not only in terms of the stories they're telling, but just the fact that the aesthetic of the books are very different. They all look different, they feel different. It's a good time.
Yeah. Dialgon asks, who's your favorite Marvel writer? But I think that's a hard one to ask. But when you were getting into comics, what were the artists and the writers that really supercharged you?
When I was a kid, I liked a lot of different people. I know that artists that, Jack Kirby blew me away as a young one. On the other end of the spectrum, Neil Adams blew me away. I couldn't find two artists more different. When I go through notable runs to me, I was a huge fan of Mention Galacy's Master of Kung Fu. I was a big fan of Steve Englehart and Sal Buscema's Captain America and the Falcon. So I did not need to be sold on Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. I loved that guy a long time ago, before most of you were born. And I go down the range. I think that almost any artist with staying power has one book under their wing that they really define them as a writer, and that's the reason they're around.
Yeah. The Gentleman 76 says, hey Axel, I love the cosmic characters. Will we see stuff like Eternity, Adam Warlock, Galactus, those cosmic abstracts and craziness?
I think it's inevitable, absolutely. They're constantly a part of our conversation. A section of every summit is structured to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy and the family of books around it. So it's really inevitable that we talk about those characters. You know, and you know, eventually things stick, and then you see them actually get their way into print.
Yeah, it was cool. I think this last week we really showed off Kenny Rockefort coming back to Marvel, working on Ultimates with Al Ewing, and that very cool cover with Galactus holding the team like that, and what that means we shall find out.
Absolutely. And again, you know, Ultimates is a book too that straddles sort of what I guess you call the cosmic universe and the real world. You know, this is a team that plays for keeps. And operates on a larger scale than almost any other team that's not called the Avengers.
Yes. Question from my friend Spencer Ackerman. He says, if we haven't seen a character show up in Battle World and Secret Wars, does that mean he or she doesn't survive into the post-Secret Wars Marvel Universe?
I'm sorry, again?
So if we haven't seen a character show up on Battle World, does that mean they're not showing up after Secret Wars?
No, there's some hidden Easter eggs in there. Absolutely. You know, Battle World is relevant. What you see in Battle World, every story you see in Battle World is going to bring something back significant to the Marvel Universe. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. Like I said, in that 8-month gap after Secret Wars, there will be big things that have changed, both to the Marvel Universe and to the lives of the characters.
Cool. Last question we got in from the fans, from Ginny Balfour. She asks, for someone new to Marvel, which comic would you tell them to start with? If you were giving someone brand new to Marvel Comics, what would you give them?
I think it's impossible to pick one book. I think that, and that's due to the fact that there's so many different flavors. I do think an excellent entry-level book right now for building a new audience is Ms. Marvel. I'm hard-pressed to think of a book that's more accessible and relevant. I view Kamala Khan as being very much sort of a Peter Parker for the 21st century. Her story is universal. Like Peter, she was granted great power and has to come to terms with the responsibility that comes with it. So maybe that would be a book I'd trot out there as being something that's sort of indicative of Marvel, Marvel right now, and the range of offerings we've got.
Perfect. I love that.
Well, where can fans find you online and throughout the con this weekend?
Throughout the con, good luck. You can find me at the panels, sometimes around the Marvel booth. As far as social media goes, I don't do Facebook or anything like that. I do Twitter, and my handle is @Axel Alonso Marv. No capitals or anything.
Yeah.
Well, great, guys. We're going to have more coming up soon. We're going to have the Teen Wolf cast, so stick around. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
For our